came in, you would have received this packet right here, and on the front it says Timber and Wildlife Evaluation for Tax Appraisal. This might be easier for you to see because it's the exact same slides that are going to be projected here, so if you want, you can follow along. I know that I've had several questions from concerned property owners on timber as well as wildlife, so I wanted to address both of those issues with you guys within this PowerPoint. Like Mr. Flowers said, we will have questions at the end. We will also have some of our appraisal staff that will be out in the hallway, that if you have questions that really just pertain to your property and you don't necessarily want to come up to the podium and ask, feel free to go outside and address those issues with them. Our business cards are also on the table. Feel free to take those, and if you get home and you read through the material and you think of a question that you didn't have the opportunity to ask, please call us. We're here to help you. We'll go ahead and start with the timber. The main thing with the timber, you must manage the tract with the intent to promote the growth and eventual harvest of timber products. Like Mr. Flowers said, if you have trees on the property that have been there for years and years and you do not have any intent to ever harvest those trees, you like them out there for privacy or what have you, that's not going to be geared toward the timber evaluation. So I want you to keep that in mind. Timber management operation activities include several things: thinning harvest, harvest at maturity, maintaining fire lanes, preserving waterways, underbrush control, maintaining roads and boundaries, removal of dead or infected trees, and plans for your post-harvest regeneration after you've done your final cut. These activities need to be outlined in your timber management plan. Now, whether you have a forester that you use for your timber or you manage it yourself, these things do need to be outlined. If you did not get our template management plan when you came in, they are available at the back table. Timber management is a long-term investment. These activities take place over the life of the timber stand. For example, establishing and maintaining a fire break on a self-managed property may take several years to complete and maintain through the life of the stand. I know one of the things is, yes, we can go out and verify on the ground that the timber stand is there, but might not be able to see the maintenance that you have done. So that's why we do look at the timber management plan to help us know what years you plan on doing these activities.
This is one of those issues that we just pulled out as an example. And of course, the serious timber owners, the serious timber producers, these are the stands that you see out there that probably have one of those diamond white and green signs, timber tract managed by a certain consulting forester, or some people that have the ability to manage it themselves. You will see where they go in and put skidders, dozers, and you can clear a fire break around your property in no time, whether you've got a consulting forester or not, if you've got the money to come in and do that. And that's one thing that TFS, Jason and I were talking about earlier. Our example here is from a self-managed perspective. Y'all don't kiss those mics now. I thought that was another train. This is from the perspective of you out there trying to do it yourself, okay? And we just pulled this out of the air for an example. If you're out there doing it yourself, you may not be able to get a fire break cleared around your property right now or this year. It may take you several years to get it cut out and cleared out, okay? But that's a timber management, just one example that you don't have to do, but that's one example of something that you may be trying to do yourself that you can't get done right now. I don't want you to think that you've got to go out there and hire a dozer to go in and put a fire break around your place. If you're doing it yourself, it may take you several years to get a fire break cleared all the way around it. That's management. That is progress, productive progress, and that's what we're trying to illustrate here. Jason, you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I think with regards to different timber management activities such as a fire break, I understand we all have constraints, especially time constraints, money constraints. Establishing a fire break can be a pretty expensive operation. Sometimes a fire break can be as simple as just mowing, particularly if you plant trees in a pasture, like if you convert a pasture to a pine plantation. Just mowing around the outside perimeter counts as a fire break. When we write our plans, whether it's Texas A&M Forest Service writing your plan or a consulting forester writing your plan, they're going to include options and work with landowners. When I did my presentation in Rusk, I'm excited about forestry, I guess, for one thing. So I want to always spread that message, and my intent was to show you what forestry is, what different practices are that can be used to plant trees or prepare a site for planting trees, and what a selective harvest looks like. So there are degrees of intensity. We don't, as a Forest Service, or whether you go to a consultant forester, we're not going to determine what degree of intensity is required. That's up to the appraisal district. We're going to write you a plan to the best of our professional ability and include items such as site preparation, tree planting. We're going to basically give you the best plan that we can and do due diligence in giving you our best professional opinion.
And with Jason, what he's saying, a lot of you, if you do a self-manage, you might not have the opportunity to talk to him. But if you have had him prepare you, or anyone in his office prepare your plan, the good thing that they do is give recommendations. That is one thing that we look at, because that's going to let us know a timeline of when they expect to do the next process and how long it's going to take. So we do look at those recommendations on when we might need to go back out and see if those recommendations had been performed. And we do realize that on the self-managed plans, there might be some gaps. So if you do have a self-managed plans and you do get a letter from us saying we need a little more information, please don't let that scare you off. Call us and let's figure out what's missing. And I encourage you to, if you ever need some assistance, to contact him in his office, and he can offer some assistance to you as well.
Let me say one more thing. Mm-hmm. In regards to a forest management plan, it's kind of like if you're going to build a house, you're going to have plans, right? And there's going to be steps to building that house. If you're going to manage your timber, you first want a plan, and that's what the appraisal district is requiring here. I've worked in this Jacksonville district since 2006, and our district, we actually cover Cherokee, Henderson, and Van Zandt County, and we've been writing plans for years in Henderson and Van Zandt County. As far as I know, all of the surrounding counties, except for Cherokee County, have always, or at least for a long period of time, have required a forest management plan if you wanted to apply for that timber evaluation or that special use. So it was just a matter of time before Cherokee County kind of caught up to the other surrounding counties.
I've included in this slideshow a lot of images that can give you an idea of what we mean when we say in some of these activities. So we'll kind of go through these fast. They are in your packet, so you can look at those. And if you have any questions later on, feel free to ask us. Selective thinning. You can look at this image and see where they've kind of gone in and select cut. They wanted to get the larger timber, which also allows sunlight to come in and help with regeneration if necessary. You can also see that they do have a clear line from the fence to the stand of trees. Like Mr. Ellis said, that would also be considered a fire lane, correct? Yeah,
one practice that I've told folks to do in the past, and we do it on our state forest, if you have some planted trees, maybe instead of going and spending money to have a dozer go and put fire lanes in around this timber, wait until it's time to thin the timber. Once it's time to thin the timber, have that guy in the felling machine that fells the trees, have him cut a perimeter around or a fire break perimeter around your planted pines. or it doesn't have to be planned upon, it could just be a mixed stand. But have him cut that perimeter, then you can go back and maintain that yourself with a brush hog or periodic herbicide sprays, those kind of things.
See, so that, in terms of fire break, that can be in your management plan, and if you have a scheduled thinning that's going to take place in 2018, 2019, 2020, you can also put in that plan that you'll be establishing a fire break at that time when you do the thinning, okay? So it's not like you've got to get out there and do it right this second. You can if you want, probably should to protect your timber, but that's a management. That's part of managing activities, okay?
Harvest at maturity. You can see that this tract right here has mature timber present, and that's one of the things that we're going to need to have outlined in there when you plan on harvesting the mature timber. Obviously, we're going to need to know how old the stand is and what your projection of when you're wanting to harvest that timber. Maintaining the fire lines, we briefly just discussed that, but this is going to be another example of where they've gone in and had a defined fire lane cut out just to protect the timber stand.